Hi everyone, today I'm covering Anbernic's latest handheld, the RG353P. The RG353P is a retro gaming handheld in the style of a Super Nintendo controller, much like the Pocket Go S30 from the beginning of last year, with the same RK3566 chip that was last seen in Anbernic's RG503 handheld. The RG353P has twice the RAM over the RG503 before it, at 2 gigs, and has a 4 to 3 3-point-inch IPS touchscreen, which works really well for retro gaming. The RG353P straight away surprised me with a fully coloured detailed box. Might sound like a funny thing to say, but it immediately sets it apart from a number of the plain retro gaming handheld boxes out there. It doesn't make any outlandish claims on it, which just makes everything seem a lot more professional. I'd imagine any fan or owner of the Pocket Go S30 could potentially be put off because of that handheld ergonomics. I personally loved the design of the S30, but ultimately sold it as it was great to hold but hard to actually play, as the ergonomics of it just didn't work while trying to get a good angle with the screen. I'm very pleased to say that I've not experienced any of these issues with the RG353P. My worries completely disappeared as soon as I had it in my hands. To put it simply, if you're a big Super Nintendo fan, the RG353P will make you very happy. So straight out of the box, the build quality and ergonomics of the RG353P do impress. It's comfortable in the hands, has a real comfortable weight to it, and is definitely comfortable when playing for long periods. The controls are very good. The handheld has a nice width, which makes for a very comfortable transition from joysticks to D-pad. The joysticks are recessed, which works very well for retro gaming, and the shoulder buttons are stacked and have a very retro clicky feel to them. Underneath we have the stereo speakers and 2 micro SD slots. On top we've got the 2 USB-Cs, HDMI out, volume buttons and stacked shoulder buttons. On the front, other than the gaming controls, we've got a function key and the power button. The power button is a bit too close to the controller button for my liking, but I've yet to accidentally press the power button while in play. I know I've probably jinxed myself forever now, but it fortunately wasn't as big of a problem as I thought it would be. Overall, the controls are incredibly well suited for retro gaming. The shoulder buttons especially feel like I remember the controls feeling, if that makes any sense. And the more or less transitions well throughout the controls generally. The joysticks have just the right amount of range for retro gaming, and the whole thing plays really well in hand. It definitely wouldn't be my go-to for modern gaming via game streaming or the like, as the controls definitely have been set up to play best with retro games, which is great as that's exactly what I'll be using the RG353P for. The D-pad has the level of stiffness that is expected of an Anbernic handheld, as well as comfortable spring back and good travel. The buttons are a little smaller than they feel like they should be, but in practice work very well in gaming and have a very nice response to them. Overall, I was very impressed by the controls of the RG353P and got used to them very quickly. So yeah, overall, very little complaints. The RG553P also has a number of firmware options available. Out of the box, if you keep both microSD cards inserted, you'll get an Anbernic flavour of emulator. This has definitely been improved since the RG503's and RG552's launches, so it's great to see Anbernic invest the time to develop their firmware further. There's already a custom firmware available on the Linux side, the Gel OS custom firmware, which is already improving performance across the board and has all the benefits that Gel OS brought to the RG503 and other handhelds. It's a great firmware and really great to see this available so quickly. So with no first microSD card inserted, the RG353 will boot into Android, which is awesome to have. It really gives you the flexibility to approach and customize the RG353P to your liking and essentially have the best of both worlds. Unfortunately, it is worth mentioning that the Google Play Store isn't available though, which is a bit annoying for those who are just used to jumping straight into it. But you can grab a third-party app store or sideload apps depending on your preference. I'll cut to some gameplay shortly, but I do have a mix of both Linux and Android gameplay here. The majority of systems are captured via Linux, with the Nintendo DS and PSP gameplay captured on Android due to better performance and extra benefits like being able to use the touchscreen for DS emulation. So in summary, I really like the RG353P. It's got so much going for it, and managed to get so much of the nostalgic feelings from me without compromises or annoyances. If you're going after the later gen emulation like PS2 or Sega Gamecube, you will be disappointed, but to me, the RG353P delivers exactly what I originally hoped for, or assumed the RK3326 handheld would, before I got used to the limitations of that chip. For those who like me, whose teen years were spent in the 16 and 32-bit eras, it hits all the nostalgic spots while offering very decent retro gaming, and can certainly be recommended. So that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching.